Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel again. In this video we are going to discuss about the 100 days of Iran-Israel war, the ceasefire that could reshape the Middle East. What if I told you that a ceasefire in Gaza might not actually end the war? What if the real battlefield is not Gaza, but Lebanon, the Red Sea, the Strait of Hormuz, and the global economy? After 100 days of conflict, the world is discovering a dangerous truth. This war was never just Israel versus Hamas. The war everyone sees is in Gaza. The war that actually really matters stretches across an entire region. October 7th changed everything. What began as a devastating Hamas attack on Israel quickly triggered one of the most destructive conflicts in the modern Middle Eastern history. Israel launched massive military operation in Gaza. Cities were reduced to rumbles, thousands died, millions were displaced. While the world focused on Gaza, something much bigger was happening behind the scene. Iran was watching, and Tehran was not thinking only about Gaza. Because for Iran, Gaza is only a one piece of a much larger puzzle. There is a hidden network. To understand this conflict, imagine a spider web stretching across West Asia. At the center sits the Iran, connected to its armed group spreading across the region. Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthis in Yemen, Iraqi militia, Syria militia. Iran called this network the axis of resistance. For decades, it has allowed Tehran to project power without directly fighting Israel. If one part of this network weakens, the entire structure becomes vulnerable. And the real prize is Lebanon. Most people think Gaza is Iran's biggest concern. They are wrong. The real strategic prize is Lebanon. There, Iran's most powerful ally waits, the Hezbollah. Unlike Hamas, Hezbollah possesses sophisticated military capabilities. It acts as Iran's forward defense line, a buffer, a deterrent, a warning to Israel. For Tehran, losing Hezbollah would be like losing its shield. And this explains why every ceasefire negotiation contains a hidden Lebanon chapter. But this conflict is not confined to lands. It has spread to some of the world's most important waterways. Strait of Hormuz. Nearly one-fifth of the world's oil passed through a narrow waterway called the Strait of Hormuz. So, if Iran blocked this route, oil price could surge globally. Red Sea, further west. Another crisis is unfolding. Yemen, Houthis have targeted commercial shipping. So, ships are rerouting, insurance costs are rising, supply chains are slowing. Bab-el-Mandeb, one narrow strait, one missile attack, and the global trade can feel the shock. The world's economy is now sailing through a war zone. So, what does Iran really want? If Iran supports a ceasefire, what does it accept in return? The answer goes far beyond Gaza. Iran's goals is sanctions relief, access to frozen assets, reduce the military pressures, and protection of its allies. Iran wants economic breathing room. It wants fewer sanctions. It wants protection for Hezbollah. And above all, it wants to preserve its regional influence. For Iran, a ceasefire is not a peace, it's a negotiation through strategies. While Iran seeks influence, Washington seeks stability. The US objective is to protect Israel, prevent regional war, secure shipping routes, and avoid oil shocks. Contain Iran. The USA faces a delicate balancing act. It wants to support Israel, but it also wants to avoid a wider war that could engulf the entire region. And that's where the biggest challenge began. Why peace is so hard? Most war involve two sides, but this one involves many, like Gaza, Hamas, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Iran, USA, Gulf states. If you solve one problem, the another emerges. Reach a ceasefire in Gaza and tension remains in Lebanon. Reduce tension in Lebanon and maritime threats continues in the Red Sea. This is not one conflict, it is a chain reaction. Why should India care? You might be wondering, why should India care? Because India has enormous stakes in West Asia. Because if there is a conflict in West Asia, the oil prices will rise and it will lead to inflation in India. Millions of Indians live in Gulf countries, the Indian diaspora. India imports a large portion of its energy from this region. And major trade routes pass directly through these troubled waters. After 100 days, the biggest lesson is becoming clear. This conflict cannot be understood through Gaza alone. Every missile, every ceasefire proposal, every naval deployment is connected to a much larger geopolitical context. What began as a local conflict has begun a struggle over the future balance of power in West Asia. The real challenge facing the diplomats today is not simply ending the fighting in Gaza. It is finding a framework that addressed the concerns of Israel, Iran, Hezbollah, USA, and the Gulf states simultaneously. Until then, every ceasefire may remain temporary, every claim may remain fragile, and every headline may simply be beginning of the next crisis. So, in West Asia, peace is no longer about ending the war. It is about managing an entire geopolitical system. So, at last, I want to leave with a question. Do you think a lasting peace or a ceasefire is possible? Or has the Middle East entered a new era of permanent strategic competition? Let me know in the comment section. And thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.